Integrity has been so discipleship focused, and I think that is unique with churches. I think a lot of gospel-centered churches are discipleship oriented, but integrity's whole purpose is to mature and multiply believers, and I think that is really evident in what Integrity is doing here, and it's impacted my life. I've been discipled by women in this church, and I'm continuing to be discipled by women in this church, especially through D groups. So a church that wants to know me as deeply as Integrity does has healed so many parts of my heart and my life. And yeah, it's just been so sweet to get to know the women and families of this church, and that's what has impacted me the most, I think, and has just showed me what it looks like to walk with Christ and pursue righteousness and mature and multiply.
I started coming to Integrity with my family when I was 9 years old, so it's played a really big role in my life. The biggest things I've learned from being at Integrity are that God is worth knowing and people are worth knowing. This isn't a church that shies away from hard passages of Scripture, and I've seen that be really valuable in my life, just working through Scripture and wrestling with Scripture, and that can be hard and messy, but it's worth it, and it's worth it to know God, because when we know Him more, we love Him more, and that's always worth it, and it's really important. And knowing people is also important. Integrity is the greatest gospel-centered community that I've experienced in my life, and even when I was a little 9-year-old girl, I would have college girls coming to my volleyball games and getting to know me, the real me, and wanting to know who I was, and that just really impacted the way that I saw community and the way that I saw the church and the purpose of the church.
With Integrity wanting to know me so deeply, I felt like since my cup was overflowing, I was able to kind of take that to the campus, and Integrity cares so deeply about the individual and the individual's walk with Jesus, and that stirred me on to want to do that for other people. And if women here were willing to disciple me and show me what that looks like, it kind of gave me the fuel to that fire that I needed to be different in the college campus, and my college experience wouldn't be where it is without Integrity in the community here. So
I think since I experienced a lot of really intentional relationships from being at Integrity, I really craved that going into college, and I really wanted to have deep relationships with classmates and peers and professors. So I learned really quickly that intentionality takes a lot of work, and having intentional conversations is something that I had to actively work at. I just learned to be curious about people and to ask them questions, whether it was a non-believer or a believer, because if they're important to God, which they are, then they're important to me, and I want to know them and love them. I've grown friendships with people that push me to know the Lord more, and that's just something that I feel really grateful for.
Integrity is very direct about what they believe in and what is true of the Bible, and the expository preaching and the things that they don't waver on have prepared me to what to look for in a community, but also all of the sermon series that we've had about community and looking for that and what that looks like to have a healthy community has really helped me find a lot of security, knowing that I can find that and I will find that in other places. So that's personally what I'm taking, but then community-wise, in whatever community I do end up going into, I feel like Integrity with the whole discipleship aspect has just prepared me really well to continue to disciple other women and do what I can to encourage them and lift them up and build them up, and not in okay, hey, you should be doing this, or hey, you shouldn't be doing that. But Integrity has really taught me what it looks like to love people in gentleness and in love and in grace, and that is just super evident in all the staff and all the people of this church, and I think that has prepared me to love people really, really well.
Being at Integrity has definitely given me a community of people that I know are gonna encourage me and continue to point me to the Lord and remind me of whose I am, and that I belong to the Lord, and I can chase after Him with my life, and that He has a plan, and I might not know all of the ins and outs of what that is, but I can trust Him with it, and I can trust Him in it. And I know that the teaching that I'm hearing here is just so gospel-centered and is continuously pointing me back to truth and who the Lord is, and is growing my knowledge of Him and love for Him just every day. So I feel really grateful for the community that I have here, and just know that it will help me moving forward.